I'm going to chemist. You know she got plenty food for me to eat.
Mommy, will you make it again?
Yeah, I wanted a more detailed video of my roasted garlic and herb butter, so here it is. Now, this is about an hour-long process, but trust the process. First, let's chop the top off the garlic bulb. Sprinkle with some olive oil, salt, pepper, smoked paprika, and parsley. You don't really have to add all of that, but y'all know I season everything. Then we wrap it up and we put it in the oven on 425 for about 35 minutes. While that's cooking, we start on our fresh herbs. Now, if you can't get fresh herbs, dry herbs work just fine too. But I figured because we're making homemade butter that everything needs to be fresh. So I got some sage, some parsley, some thyme, and some rosemary. I washed them all and I wrapped them in paper towels to dry. After that, I chop them as finely as I can get them. If you have a food processor or a blender, if you want to save a little bit of time, put them in there. Now, if you want to, you can do this while the heavy cream is churning, but I decided to do this before. And also, I was making dinner at the same time and my son was sick, so I had a lot going on, y'all. So all I'm pretty much doing is prepping everything so that when I finish making the butter, I can easily add it into it. Now, I think this is rosemary. For some reason, I don't know why, I always confuse rosemary and thyme. I believe that the rosemary looks like thyme and the thyme looks like what rosemary should be. I don't know why. And for this, I use Italian parsley. Now, let's get into my garlic, honey. Yes! Now, this is the heavy cream I was telling you guys about in my previous video. It's a 1 quart bottle, and I use the whole thing. So if you don't have a stand mixer, you can use a hand mixer. You're just going to be standing with your hand mixer in a bowl the entire time, which takes about, I want to say, 15 minutes. But if you're using a stand mixer, you can start it on low and you can increase the speed the thicker the heavy cream gets. Unless, of course, you want heavy cream all over your kitchen, all over your counters. And when I say trust the process, trust the process. It's going to start looking clumpy and weird looking, and I eventually did scrape down the sides. And when the heavy cream started to separate, I lowered my speed because the buttermilk on the bottom is starting to form up and it's going to start splashing all over you like it did me. Once the butter stuck to the mixer, I went ahead and got me a nice little mason jar and strained out the buttermilk. And I think I'm going to use this either for some biscuits or to fry some chicken here within the next few days. Then I poured some cold water on the butter and I pressed out any remaining buttermilk. And to clarify, I say buttermilk because that's what's left after you mix the heavy cream. That's the butter and the rest of it is the buttermilk. It's not heavy cream anymore. And I did that until the water was clear. I used about 3/4 of my roasted garlic bulb. Then I added in all the herbs y'all seen me chop up a few minutes ago. I used a good tablespoon of each herb in this butter. Then I want to say I used about a teaspoon of sea salt, but as you can see, I did not measure. Start light and taste test it as you go. Then I mixed it up until it was completely incorporated, but I didn't mix long because I did not want whipped butter. I threw it on some wax paper and I struggled a bit, but it made it work. You could put this in a jar, you could use saran wrap, however you want to store it that way. I want it to be fancy. And now you got roasted garlic and herb homemade butter. All right, bye.